Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about Black Mirror Season 3, Episode 3. It's called Shut Up and Dance. Full spoilers for the episode will follow.
You are far too upbeat for such a somber episode of TV.
I like when entertainment, I like when media, I like when movies and TV hit me in the pit of my stomach. When they can do that, I'm happy, regardless of the negative
Yeah.
things it might have done to make me feel that. Yeah, Jesus Christ. I'd heard some buzz online about this episode because obviously we're doing these daily, so a lot of people binge watch the whole thing in the first day.
I don't understand. I think I don't know how you can binge watch something like this show. I think
Yeah,
I'd struggle.
I need to process each episode for a while.
You need time to
after.
digest them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was a heavy episode, and it started off so simple, and it stayed fairly simple actually, but there was obviously a twist at the end, and we'll get to the twist.
It's also worth knowing that this is the episode that feels most like perhaps the first episode of Black Mirror.
Because it's tense. This is probably, I would say, it eclipses that first episode in tension.
I would as well. Yeah.
Yeah, this is even
And
more tense.
also the idea that most Black Mirrors they're described as 5 minutes from now, like it's just in the future, whereas this could just happen right now.
Yeah, that's a good point. There's nothing futuristic about this one.
Yeah, which is the same as the first episode.
That's true. That's true. But yeah, and do you know what? Do you know what's so effective about the twist though? And we're not going to talk about what it is yet. We'll leave that to the end. We'll get to it naturally in progression. But I want to talk about a couple of early things on that relate to the twist that retroactively are affected by it. It never occurred to me, with the exception of one sort of nagging thought that I had throughout, that there was going to be more to reveal about this. And I'll tell you why. Kenny's opposition to his sister Grunty's laptop wasn't like a red flag for me, because honestly, if someone took my computer and started looking at it, I would be upset. If they installed something that put malware on it, I would be livid. I would be wanting their heads.
Yeah,
The streets would run red with their blood.
pretty much.
A computer is a man's digital private space. Not because there's anything to hide on it, just because it's like someone coming into your house and putting their feet up when they've not been
No, it's today's equivalent of going into someone's diary.
Kinda, yeah, kinda.
Like you just don't do it. That's theirs.
But I especially hate people touching my computer. So, I got that, and it was like fine. Now him putting the lock on the door, okay. In retrospect, that makes more sense. But at the same time, I was like, okay, I can kind of buy it.
Even still, I know people who have done that when their siblings take their stuff. They just
Yeah.
go, "No, I'm annoyed at this. I'm just gonna get a lock."
See, I'm an only child, so I've never encountered this.
No, I've encountered it.
What, one of your brothers is
No, no, not my brothers. But
can't trust a ginger. You get a house full of like 3 gingers. You can't trust them all.
there's a fair point. But, but no, I do know people who have done that. So again, it didn't strike me as that odd, really.
Yeah. The one thing though, the one thing that was kind of in my head, and it didn't make me think there was going to be more to it, but it was like just a thought I had sort of continually throughout. So the whole plot of this is that this young guy named Kenny, which I've learned in IMDb he's 19, which sounds about right. It looks like he's just out of school, but he still looks like a kid. He still looks like a teenager.
Yeah, I was wondering like if he was underage, like if he was like 16, because obviously he has a
Yeah.
job, but like you can have that at 16.
Yeah, but at the same time, he doesn't seem to be going to school because he's going to work like every day. It looks like so. It looks
Yeah.
like it's maybe the summer before he goes to university or something like that, or in between years of university. I don't know, but it seems like that kind of thing. And obviously, it's worth mentioning this is the first. Well, technically, the last one was kind of set in the UK, but the main character was an American, whereas this one's fully, set in England.
Yeah.
But the gist of this one is his sister uses his computer to install a program that lets you watch movies for free. Installs malware. Very relatable. Not that I'm not stupid enough to install anything like that. But the whole idea of something stupid getting on your computer and you have to go to a malware website and you have to go through the process.
We've all had malware at some point.
And I'm the guy who usually throws in the towel and says, you know what, sod this, I'm reinstalling Windows.
I'm usually go to the point where, forget it. I'm booting in safe mode and just restoring.
Yeah, it's just Clean sweep. Clean sweep.
Yeah.
But anyway, so and it's a lot of it's very relatable, and it's kind of disgusting in retrospect how relatable a lot of it is. But you see him and his sister are watching TV, and he notices, some attractive ladies in the music video or whatever, and you kind of know where his head's going. You sort of get it, and he sneaks up to his room. He's got his new lock on, so he padlocks the door. He pulls over the box of Kleenex, and he stands up and he starts undoing his trousers. And you know kind of where it's going because we've seen points of view of the camera, so it's very clear that someone's watching.
Yeah.
And immediately he starts getting the text and is saying, if you don't do exactly what we're telling you.
No, he doesn't get the text first. He gets the emails, and they tell him if he doesn't give them his phone number.
Yeah, sure. But
because that's the first step. Because I will say, up to this point, more or less, I know someone who's been through exactly this, where they've been filmed, and they've tried to blackmail them, and they've gone, give us money, or we'll send this video to everyone on your friends list.
Oh yeah, it's a real thing that happens.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, he covers his camera with blue tack after this email happens. I will say this: it's something that you should kind of do out of habit. It's something. My camera, I don't have a built-in camera, but my camera, whenever I'm not actually using it, I point it at the ceiling, just in case.
Mm.
For whatever reason, just the idea that someone could be watching when I'm unaware of it's just kind of creepy. So I just always point at the ceiling, And I think I think it was the head of the FBI said that all of their computers in their building are just all the cameras are covered unless they're being used. And it's like, well, yeah, sure. I actually kind of agree with that.
There was that thing a couple of months ago where there was a picture of Zuckerberg and he had his covered, and everyone flipped out that way. Even he does it.
Yeah, but it's just good practice. People can hack into these things, and it's just simple precaution. That's why when Microsoft were forcing the Kinect down everyone's throats with the Xbox, someone started selling an accessory that was a cover that would cover the front of the Kinect camera. So he starts getting these messages, and it's telling him to do stuff, and we'll get into what he's doing. But as this episode sort of unfolded, and and they keep asking him to do more and more things, there was a point where I was thinking, it's not bad.
Yeah. Especially as one of the other characters kind of brings it up.
Yeah.
It's like, is that it? Everyone does that.
Because I was really happy when he brought that up, because I was thinking, almost immediately as soon as they started getting him to do things, I was like, it would be embarrassing, sure, a couple of awkward looks, but we're all, it's your contact list, they're mostly people you'll know, and they'll just get over it. They might make a point of not watching it because they do know you, and your life will go on. It's not the end of the world.
That's what I thought, because it's... So the message almost seems like, how far will you go to hide just something embarrassing? For a point, it's like, how far will you go? And it's like, this seems too far for this point.
Yeah, but at the same time, you kind of go with it because it's so entertaining, it's so tense, and you're riveted to what's happening. Where are they going? What are they having them do? Where's it leading up to? So you just kind of go with it. So we'll say that's what we'll stop talking about the twist just now. We'll save it for when we actually get to it and talk about what it actually is. Even though we give a full spoiler warning, but just let's save it.
Build up to it like the episode did.
Yeah, save it for the end. So it gets them to skip out on work, and they keep sending texts. And are you shaking your head because the cat just moved the camera? Yeah.
Bloody cats.
He's patrolling. He's making sure I've not been hacked. That's what he's doing. Detective cat. So he gets a message to go to this place, and he's handed a package. And it's funny, as the guy rides up on his bike, I immediately thought, this is someone else who's being blackmailed. And that keeps up throughout the episode. Everyone he interacts as part of this quest is all someone else who is being blackmailed for whatever, some other reason, similar to his, maybe different.
Just a question, that guy there, we never found out what he did, right? What they had on him.
No,
I thought not, because everyone else we get what it was. Even if they only had small parts, we get what it was. Whereas we see the reactions of those around him, but we don't know what it is.
To me, that said that his wasn't as big a deal as the other. Like, his was a bit smaller.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, something that his family are clearly upset about because we see them all arguing with him, but maybe not the end of the world again.
Yeah.
But so he gets this cake, and it leads him to Hector, who's this middle-aged guy who, as of yet, doesn't seem to be getting blackmailed because he's confused as to why he's there. But then once they get him to say the name Mindy, and then he starts getting messages on his phone, it sounds like that's the moment he starts getting blackmailed. That's why he starts drinking, and they're sent in this quest together. They go get a car, which is the car we see being delivered in the opening scene, the tease at the start.
Yeah, which is
And
quite out there at the start because you're like, what on earth's going on here?
yeah, but as soon as he walked into the car park, I got it. I was like, oh, that
It
was
was
that
it was
car.
just, it wasn't
Yeah.
even when they got to the car park. It was as soon as he said we've got to go get a car. It's like, oh, okay, I get it.
And so yeah, they go along, and there's a great thing when they get to the car's running on empty. Whoever put it there didn't fill it up, and they have to go and fill it up. And when Kenny goes inside to pay for it, he comes back out, and Hector's run into someone that he knows, maybe like the mum of one of his like kids' friends or something like that.
I think it's someone who works at the school
Yeah,
that
maybe.
kids
Yeah.
go to. I think that's what she said.
I don't even recall saying it. I was so caught up in the tension of them.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they're on a time limit. Like they have to get.
She mentions the PTA,
Yeah, which is why I was thinking she was a parent.
but I think I don't know. I'm sure she was saying she worked there, but I can't remember now. It's not important.
It isn't important, and I think I'm pretty sure. Like I remember our PTA in my school, the person who ran it was a parent. It wasn't
Yeah,
worker.
but I think the thing is when she says, "Oh, I haven't seen the wife since sports day," like she was a teacher, like she would have been at, I don't know.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter. So they get back in the car, and they have to get to this location. A time limit. They don't know where it is. They get like basically a Google Map, coordinate, and like the entire time they're in the car, and she's making small talk, and they're having to try and cover who he is. He says he's his nephew, and they cover all these things, and the entire thing is very tense. And very, against the clock. And the episode's really entertaining because of that, because everything's ticking. It's ticking, 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 and you feel, the whole thing ticking down the entire time. But when it gets really tense is when they get to the location and they're told to look in the cake. And I immediately went, it's a gun. There's a gun in the cake.
So did I. I was watching it with the girlfriend, I went, there's a gun in there.
Also a hat and sunglasses, so we weren't, we were 90% right.
This is the thing. When he pulls it out and it's just the hat side, it just looks like a black pouch in a bag.
Yeah.
You're not sure what it is. She looks at me and she's like, "Yeah, sure, gun." And then he turns it over. Yeah, see.
Yeah. And then they get the text saying you've got 5 minutes to decide which one of you is the driver and which one of you is the robber. And they've already established that Kenny can't drive yet.
Yeah, he hasn't got his license.
And this is where you really start to feel sorry for this kid. He starts weeping that he can't do this. As expected, like you kind of relate to it. Like if you're told, he doesn't even know. Like within a minute's time, he's just found out that he has to go in and rob a bank with a gun. And he's not a criminal, at least that we know of at this point. And like the whole thing really comes down. And then Hector, to try and convince him to do it because his like livelihood's on the stake as well. He starts harassing him essentially and telling him how awful it'll be if this video gets out. It'll be on Facebook. It'll never be deleted. It'll always be there. And he starts to and you kind of hate him for it, but at the same time,
he had a fantastic line in that speech. I can't remember it now, but it absolutely cracked me up. One of them.
I was talking about it was like jizz spurting out or something like that.
Nah. It was something to do with the Google and internet and stuff. I can't remember what it was, but I remember just absolutely laughing out loud when I heard it.
But the whole thing, and again, everything from this point for this scene is real time, and we follow him. He puts on the hat, the glasses, and he walks up to the bank and walks in, and he holds the banker, the clerk, at gunpoint, and he pisses himself, and he's shaking, and everyone can tell he's uncomfortable, and it's horrible and awkward, and you feel it in the pit of your stomach the entire time.
Yeah.
And then he walks out and the car's not there. And I was thinking that Hector wasn't being a dick. I was thinking that they'd told him to leave.
That's what my mind went to as well. Because you just go, you just know what they're like at this point.
Yeah.
That they could just do something just for the hell of it.
Yeah. Now he does speed out the corner and he says that he was just hiding to make for because someone was wandering around. And they speed off, but for those 3 seconds, and you think he's just stranded outside this bank holding this gun and money. You're like, oh god. And again, it's tense when the police car's coming by, and I was 100% sure it was just going to pass them by because they had no reason to think it was this car. At least
that's what I was thinking. Yeah. They hadn't seen him get into it.
Yeah.
No one did. No one had.
That we know of course. I mean, they could have easily shown a little flashback of someone across the street seeing it or whatever. But from what we knew.
Yeah, there was nothing that they'd shown that made me think they were going to stop him.
And they go out to this place in the middle of nowhere, and they tell Hector to go and destroy the car, which I'm actually really curious as to how he destroyed the car.
Yeah, I wish we'd seen just a little glimpse of that. I'm imagining like scrapyard. Go or put in one of those cubic crushers.
You can't get access to that though.
Maybe they had someone.
Yeah, but they didn't give him like instructions. They just said go and destroy the car. They left it to his own devices, which is why I thought that's a tough task. Like, how do you destroy a car?
Maybe, but maybe after he started driving off, they went go here to do it.
Sure.
I don't know. Otherwise, you're right. That is a tough challenge. Yeah. Just burn it, I guess.
Yeah, but as I really destroy it, like it's still sitting there, like just the remains of this metal structure. I mean, it's.
Yeah.
But they tell Kenny to go off and deliver the money, and he runs into this other guy who's clearly also being blackmailed, and he sets up a drone. He's been told to set up this drone that's got a camera on it, and he's like, okay, we're going to have to fight. And it becomes very clear, even though neither of them want to like sort of acknowledge it, it's very clear that this is going to have to be to the death.
Yeah, long before the text message comes through saying to the death, it's like, okay, we know exactly where this is going.
Yeah. And you're like, man, these people are really evil. They're making people fight to the death on camera for their own amusement. Is this that right? But then this other guy is like, what did you do? Like, what have they got on you? What are they blackmailing you with? And he's like, oh, I was.
He goes, I just looked at some pictures.
Yeah. And the guy just immediately goes, how young?
Yeah.
And that moment, you just like. Everything flips. It's like it's not like you're sympathetic with the people who are doing this. It's not like it feels like justice, but you
even at this point, I was questioning it because he was like because he goes, oh, how long? Like, yeah, me too. And even then, I was like, it could still be, just the idea that that this wasn't what it was, and it was just
no, it was his reaction.
Yeah, that's when I changed.
Yeah, Kenny.
But at first,
when Kenny started weeping. It was like, okay, no, this is it. And it flips you because the entire episode you sympathise with him. You are scared for him. You want him to be alright. Because he's done, for as far as you knew, he did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
And you're on his side the entire time. And then just like that, it pulls it out from under you. And then I was thinking, oh, maybe that's why Hector's just told to get rid of the car and he can go home. Like, obviously we see them pull a bit of a dick move later, but like maybe that's why he's let off because what he was doing is nothing near as bad as what he did.
Yeah, all he was doing was getting a prostitute, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
cheating on his family, but sure, bad, but
not morally wrong, but not technically illegal.
Well, actually, soliciting is illegal.
Yeah, but is hiring a prostitute illegal? I thought it was just accepting the money is the solicit.
Sure.
I don't know if offering it is.
I'll admit I have not deeply looked into the
nor have I.
I'm
just thinking, is offering the money
to be
the
fair,
crime?
Escort services are a thing, so I suppose I don't know. I'm not sure how legal it is. To be
also,
honest.
I know there are certain areas in the UK now where prostitution is legal. They're trialing it.
I'll need a list, Connor.
It's all right.
You've got it handy.
Your friend.
You've got it handy, have you? It's on the wall. You've got a big board, just like
you can't see it. It's just up that side. There's a conspiracy board.
Oh dear. So that's like your heart just sinks and everything. You just feel kind of gross, and you don't know how to respond to what you're seeing anymore. It's like I don't really care about him anymore. Like instantly, in a second, like he's become so unsympathetic, and he tries to kill himself. He tries to take that way out, but the gun's got nothing in it.
Which was so obvious. So as soon as he pulled it out, in the bank, I was like, okay, sure, could be a real gun. But at this point, as soon as he pulls it out, and
I still think it's real.
Well, but as soon as he pulls it out the guy, I was like, all right, no.
Yeah, it's empty, or it's got blanks in it, or whatever, devious tactic there is, and. Then we get this montage. We get this montage of all the characters. Obviously, the main ones being Kenny and Hector, but we also get, the guy who delivered the cake, the woman at the start. We see that she had like a racist email or something, and that was what they had on her.
Yeah, and she was the CEO of a company.
And we see Hector come home, and basically what the people doing this, they send the not the
troll
official.
face.
It's not official. It's a meme. Nothing's official about it. But yeah, the troll face.
Let's be honest, though. It might as well be official.
Yeah, the troll face, and they do everything. They release everything anyway, to the point where Kenny gets a phone call from his mother, and her mother's crying, or his mother's crying, and she's like, "Kids, Kenny," and
Yeah.
we just see basically his world fall apart in front of him, and that's when the episode ends, and it is like. It is a devastatingly heavy episode because it's already so tense and so engrossing, and then at the end it hits you with this horrible reality that doesn't feel cheap. And like I say, you look back at the start of the episode, padlock, stay off my computer, all of it.
Like I said, it's nothing that feels out of place without this twist.
Yeah.
Because it's all stuff that I've known to happen to people.
But it all works with it. It all makes sense with it.
Yeah.
You can also argue he's a bit of an outcast the way, like, he doesn't really talk to other people at work and all that. Although, as someone who's a bit socially awkward myself, I don't want to let people think that just being a bit awkward leads to things like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Those guys come, he's sat there having his lunch on his own, and then those two come in like, what are you doing here? Move.
They're asshats, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, what are you doing?
But, no, so absolutely devastating. And it's funny, because I think, in a weird way, this might be the best episode of the show. It might be my favourite. But, at the same time, it's probably got the least sort of complex message of the entire thing, I think.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's really like, if you do bad things, someone's watching. Also, cover your webcam, that's another message. They should take that to note.
Yeah.
But, it's actually very simple. I don't think there's a lot of, like, hidden... I mean, unless you've got any to suggest, I don't...
No, I think it's very surface level in this regard.
But maybe that's the point. Maybe this should be surface level because we shouldn't dress this up.
It's such an obvious thing to say to people that, I get that. I mean, like I say, before the twist, you think maybe it's a different message because you're like, it's what would you do just for your personal sake? And it's not, because obviously we think he's a good guy and we're sympathizing with him, so we don't think he's done anything wrong. So that message isn't there until right at the end.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you want to boil it down to a simple sentence, it's basically that in the digital age with the internet, anyone can get caught.
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically what it is. Like, if you're doing something wrong, there will be a breadcrumb. There will be a trail that leads to you somehow. No, devastating episode. Devastating. Like, because it's funny, because I said to you, because I watched it just before you did, and I sent you a message saying, brace yourself. And you insisted on me telling you a hint as to why. And I didn't want to let you know there was a twist or what the twist was.
No, I didn't want to. I just was, when you said brace yourself, I was like, wait, hang on. Is it another, like, straight up horror thing? Is it, like, what am I preparing for?
But it was very easy to answer that without giving anything away. I just said, it's really tense. Which was true. Yeah. Because even before that twist, it was a really heavy, tense episode because it was so...
And I didn't ruin anything for me because it was like, okay, it's tense.
Yeah.
So I would have figured that out within 5 minutes.
But you get to that ending, Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, let us know how this has ruined your lives in the comments below. Also, let us know, do you cover your webcams if you need to? If you even, maybe the webcams in a room where you don't feel the need to cover it because it's just pointing at a wall when you're not there. But, I'm curious. Let us know. Do you cover your webcams? I'm interested. And yeah, that's Black Mirror. I'm speechless. I have nothing else to say to you. I really don't.
Just damn, what an episode.
It feels very weird to, after talking about this heavy subject, to go like and subscribe and.
Yeah, I think we'll just come back next time.
Follow us on Twitter.
We'll see you at episode 4 if you made it past this one.
I'm going to remake this episode, but at the end, the twist is that he's dyed his hair and he's secretly a ginger.